Greetings and salutations. What's going on, fam? We're just jamming to some music right now, trying to see if more people come up. For those of you that are already in here, greetings and salutations. I'm E, also known as Erwin Benedict Valencia, which is really my full name. So we're jamming a little bit. We're going to wait here for probably about a couple of minutes. So wait till people slowly come into the webinar. Thank you all for being here. If you're hearing this music, I'm jamming in for a little bit. So get your jam on. Just a little bit of things. Just if you need to get a water, you need to get a, I got my own water here. If you need to make sure you get a pen and paper so you can write down notes if you need to. Put your phone on the side unless you need your phone to record or to take photos of me being weird. Do it. So just a couple of things. I have my little notes on the side just so that we can get started here. I'm going to give it about 4 minutes and get rocking. Throwback Thursday, by the way, today. And in case any of you are about my age or just around my age, which I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I'm in my 40s. Is the cross-color shirt. If you see that, I used to wear cross colors when I was a wee bit little child and back in the Philippines. Probably one of the crazy hip hop guys. If I say high school, that was a long time ago. So can you believe that? So anyways, like I said, we're going to start about 3 minutes. Get your stretches in. Make sure your seat is comfortable. Do your rotations. Make sure you get your water. Go to the bathroom if you need to. Get your drink. Or if you feel like another beverage is something that you guys need and deserve at this moment in time, grab it right now. But make sure when you do, grab a pen and a paper or a notebook or something like this. So. And then we'll get started here in about 3 minutes. And if you feel like jamming and dancing around, just do it. Also in the chat, please let me know where everyone is from. Looks like I got the fam in the house tonight. Welcome, everybody. Yes, so I got people in the chat. I got my royals in the house already, kicking it. Please let me know where you're coming from. Oh, wow. We got some jams here. I don't think this is what I meant to play, but yeah, we're meant to play this guy. Yeah, I see that Crystal, my Royals fam, used to drop the cross-color outfits and the Feelas. Twee, you were down with the Feelas too, huh? Danielle, greetings, Rumi. What's going on? Arjun, Seth from Queens, Chelsea from Chicago. Oh, my love, what's going on? Kit from Michigan, greetings and salutations. What's going on? How you guys doing? We're going to start in a minute. So like I said, if you're just dropping in, get your notebook, write down some wisdom, get your pen if you need to, and get your drink. Whatever drink or form that is. And if you need to go to the toilet, go now. Go now. And drop in on the chat where you're from so we can send love. New Jersey, Twee in New Jersey. I don't know how you're checking in right now with some places in New Jersey and Connecticut with no electricity, but there's internet for some strange reason. And that is just an epic thing to think about. Yes. Hey, cuz, my cousin Vanessa is in the house. Yep. And CJ the DJ, my main man from the Grasshopper Project out in Arizona from Jersey representing. So Aw, Chelsea from Chicago, Daybreaker fam, Havana fam in the house. All right, guys. I hope you guys got your stuff going. Went to the bathroom, get all collected. I'm gonna wipe my face, get a little drink, and we'll get started here in like 20 seconds. And CJ, you were asking, I'm playing some J Balvin. I've been rocking it with my workouts and everything lately, so dropping it. So I'm dropping it. Power came back last night. Yes, I know. The downtime is really kind of nice, right? Hot tweet. So loving the Royals in the house. I kind of forgot what our number was for 1K one day. Happy graduation for everyone in 1K one day. Graduation day. So, and hopefully this is the start of something new for all of us, and our connections will last forever. So I'm happy for you all to be here. Anyways, all right, let's get the show started. I'm going to stop the music real quick. And we'll get back to that in a second. All right. Good evening, fam. Erwin Benedict Valencia here, or E, as I'm more known. If this is your first time to any one of my media blasts, webinar, lives, all that other stuff, hi. My name is E. I am a well-being expert and a gratitude evangelist. I have been in the mindfulness and meditation world for probably 30 years. I know I'm not that old, so just let me make sure you know that. But I've been practicing this for more than 30 years. I've been doing breath work and been practicing yoga myself for 20 years. Not that I'm a yoga teacher. My cousin is, Vanessa, who's in the house right now. But I personally am not, but I practice yoga, and I have been practicing yoga for almost 20 years. And I've also been in the professional sports world for about 15 years. So yes, I know a thing or two about not just physical health, but mental and emotional health as well. I think one of my gifts, and I'm very lucky to have it as a gift, is the appreciation of beauty and excellence. And so as I go through life, I notice things a lot more because I feel that there's something that they have to gift to me. And I take that as a gift. So I hope that you all, if you come out with anything today, as we talk about burnout, yes, we talk about burnout, we haven't said the word yet. As we talk about burnout, is the true appreciation of what you have right here and right now. So anyways, okay. So this is, if you are here for 5 well-being tools to help battle burnout, then you're in the right place. If you're here learning about something else, then send me something on the chat, and then maybe I can help you if that's the question you have. But this is about burnout. And I say this because I had a IG Live and Facebook Live a few days ago, and it was about cabin fever. So knowing that cabin fever and burnout could actually be closely related, but we're talking about burnout tonight. So a couple of housekeeping rules, some housekeeping rules for all you guys. First, like I said, make sure you have a pen and paper, pad, journal, whatever you need. Make sure you have a drink so you're not dehydrated as you go through my talk. I'll probably need it more than y'all will need it. If you need to go to the toilet, go back, no problem. This will be recorded for those who have questions. And especially if you registered, you'll get the replay back. So also, if you have any questions, you can put it on the chat, and then we will answer that accordingly in the end. You see the chat function on the side there. And remember that this is not, as well as one, make sure I want to have disclaimer that this is not a therapy session by any means. I am not a psychological therapist. I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I'm not even a neuropsychologist, just like my roomie Danielle, who's on this chat right now. She is actually a neuropsychologist. I'm here as a positive psychology practitioner. I'm here as a mental health advocate. And I'm here as a mindfulness maverick that believes that all of us have an opportunity to live our lives fully, to thrive and to flourish despite anything that goes on in our lives. So if this is why you're here, then welcome. So before we begin the actual talk and we go through the actual webinar portion of things, I'd like to make sure that all of you guys are checked in and that you're here with me. Because sometimes you could be on your phone, you could be looking outside. If you're on the West Coast, like my boy CJ, the DJ, he's probably looking at the sunshine still, distracted by the things that are around him, the beauty of Arizona right now. So if I could ask all of you just to be present for just a quick moment. And what I'd like to do is do a little breath work and a little bit of gratitude. So if I may, would that be okay? So put in the chat, tap in the chat if that's cool with you guys. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a chat, whatever, if you feel like that's cool. And if things are delayed, it's all good. I'm going to start anyways. So as we begin, the first thing I'd like to do, yes, say yes. Tiffany, say yes, Tiffany. Chelsea, say yes. Arjun, say yes. Seth, of course. Atibumi, yes. Don Tagala in the house, say yes. It's cool. Kit, say yes. CJ, DJ, everyone say yes. I love it. This is how we roll. And Dana is in the house. My dear, thank you for being here. So we'll do what I like to call my take 5. And for those who know me and have followed me, this is my simple way of just checking in. So it's a take 5 breath work added with a little bit of gratitude in it, with a little mixer. So first, I'd like you to think about being in a birthday. I'd like you to sit yourself down and you're the person about to blow a candle for your birthday. Just think about that. So make sure you're seated and you're grounded. Make sure your hands are free as well. And so now you're sitting there, you imagine you're in your birthday. Imagine the balloons that are around you in your birthday are actually inside your lungs. And so when you breathe in, your lungs expand, and you breathe out, your lungs attract. So just, if you take a breath in with your nose, take a breathe out with your mouth. So just feel that for a second. Next, I want you to take your hands, and your right hand particularly. I want you to take your right hand. I want you to put your right hand in front of you like you're holding a pizza pie. I know it's funny to think about it, like you're holding a pizza pie. I want you to bring your left index finger in front of you. Put it right on the crease of your wrist. If you see that, crease of your wrist, there you go. And then now, as you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, you're going to take 5 seconds to bring that finger to the thumb, and then 5 seconds breathing out back to the middle of the wrist crease. And if you feel called to close your eyes, please close your eyes. Because we'll close our eyes when we put our hand to our heart in gratitude anyways. So I know you're ready since you said yes. Here we go. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. I want to count for you just in case you want to keep count. Deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, with your eyes continuing to be closed, I want you to put your hand right on top of your heart. And I want to put your left hand on top of your right hand. And now, breathing normally and continuing to breathe normally, I want you to think about one person, just one person that you're grateful for today. And at this moment particularly. And it could be anyone. It could be your mom, your dad. It could be your kids, it could be your husband, your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be somebody that's far, that's near, that's dead, that's alive. In this one moment, being present with the energy of your breath, giving you life force in your body, think about it. Think about the one person you're grateful for. And keep breathing. Allow that breath to give you energy. And if you're called to smile because you're thinking of this person, smile. It's all good. Just take this moment to feel that gratitude, not just stay in your heart, but go throughout your body. Going up, going down, going all around. Just take that one moment to say thank you to that person. Continue to breathe and focus on your breath. And as you continue to thank this person, breathe normally and feel that energy and smile. And whenever you're ready, your next out breath, open your eyes and rise. Thank you, fam, for indulging me in that. And welcome to 5 tools to help you battle burnout. Welcome. So how is everybody feeling? Please send a note down how you felt after being grounded and taking a breath and being in gratitude right now. Let me know. Let me know on the little chat function how that felt. And if you're now grounded and just ready to take on this talk. Yeah, it's just love. It's all good. All right, now that we're relaxed, time for business. So I'm going to go and put the slides up. But first, let me ask a question. Oh. Uh-oh. I'm going to start this poll. There you go. So those, if you guys are seeing this poll, I'm going to let you guys press this button and see what our thoughts were on this poll. The question is, have you experienced burnout? That's a simple question. So answer that poll. I'll give you guys about 5 more seconds. Oh. Yep. Poll thing not going. Yep. You guys getting that? So I'm not really sure with this platform or whether that comes out when I do this or when you guys get it. And then I'll see the results afterwards in the poll. So try that again. And if it doesn't work, then I'm going to skip it. So. Okay, 100%. There you go. You're right. All right. I voted twice, I think. Yep, it came through. Perfect. There you go. All right. Well, then I got another question, is that if you did experience some sort of burnout, did you seek help? And it could be a therapist, could be a psychologist, could be a friend, somebody that you feel comfortable enough to share the challenges that you have. So if that's the question, is did you seek any help? It could be a professional, not professional, but did you feel you needed support is the biggest question here. We'll give you about 10 seconds. We had, all right, there we go. So we got about from you guys. It's switching around, but I see that probably about a 60-40 split. All right. Thank you for sharing that. So I guess the question is always with that is that why didn't you ask for help, or why didn't you seek it? And I think that's always one of the things that we ask. And as somebody who's in the mental health space, we'd like to know why people aren't seeking for help. And most often than not, the answers that we get is that there's a lot of fear in there. There's a limiting belief that they don't need it because you can actually take care of yourselves. And yes, you can, but you have to have the right tools to allow you to get there. And especially as it comes to our word burnout, is that when you're about to be burnt out, you don't even know that, you know what's happening, and you don't take life to really seek it. So one of the easiest things, as my dear Rumi Danielle would say, is that you need to give yourself space. And so once you do that, then you'll slowly have the chance to really think about it and really have your thoughts going through there. So my goal is to be able to share with you guys some of the tools I personally used, and also I personally share with other people, because I have gone through almost that bout of burnout, but I think I was at the cusp. And because I was at the cusp, I still was able to use all my tools to be able to just let me stay there right at the edge. Meanwhile, I have a few friends that unfortunately did get burned out. And particularly today, and much love to all the frontline workers out there and those people around the world, particularly back home in the Philippines, who are getting challenged because now they're having to work more because they're back in mandatory quarantine back in the Philippines, and all the healthcare workers are now starting to get burned out. So hopefully in this talk, I'll be able to share with you guys some of the tools that I personally use and I personally share, and that I've been able to study from the many things that I've studied in the past to be able to help you go through this. So I'm going to put the slides on and we'll get the presentation ready. So we're going to go. This is going to be probably about a 20-minute chat. And then I'm going to have, if you have questions, you can put them on the chat right now and we'll try to answer it later, but we'll save it towards the end. So well-being tools to help battle burnout. Welcome, everybody. And thank you for spending the time with me on a beautiful, I think, here, Thursday evening to learn to help not only yourself, but other people around you. So the topic outline we're going to go through, we're going to talk about, we just have a little bit of introduction of why I'm doing this. Number two, the definition of burnout, and then the definition of well-being. And the reason why we're going to only spend, as you can see on those notes, is that in the introduction line that I'm only doing a little bit definition of burnout, and then we're moving forward right away, is because more often than not, the best solution is done when a problem is seen, and then you create or find that solution right away that is not necessarily parallel, but not really completely opposite, but parallel to it. So a lot of times people who have challenges, they say, okay, well, if I have this challenge, I just got to stop. But sometimes stopping is such a difficult task. So if you do something else, and especially if that something else is inspiring, that gives you the good feels and allows you to do better, then that's the direction you need to go. So we're not going to dwell on the issue and the meaning of burnout, but we're going to talk about the solutions for it. I hope you guys are okay with that. And then we're going to talk about the different tools for each one. So I'm giving you 5 tools today. We're going to go through physical health, mental health, emotional health, social health, and even spiritual health. And in the end, we'll have a little surprise, and then we'll have the Q&A. And I hope that's cool with everybody. So, okay. So going back to the slides. So first of all, who am I and why am I talking about well-being? Like I said earlier, if this is your first time to be in any one of my live events IG Live, Facebook Live, webinars, guest appearances, and all that stuff, you'll know that well-being is my thing. I live well-being. And not only that, I am truly the gratitude dude. So I think I wake up every day feeling gratitude for everything I currently have. And then just by being in gratitude allows me to just live a life that thrives, because everything else doesn't really matter, because I'm already thankful for what I have and I'm not seeking too much. I have about like 30 years of meditation experience and mindfulness practice. I've been practicing yoga for about 20 years and breath work as well. And I've been in the sports medicine and rehab space for about 20 years as well. So if you can guess, I'm no spring chicken, but I'm aged like fine wine, I'd like to say. So, yeah. As the Dalai Lama would say, more compassionate mind, more sense of concern for others' well-being is source of happiness. If we are concerned and compassionate for not only ourselves, it then allows us to replicate that to everyone else, and then in turn brings happiness to a lot of people. So we're going to go with a definition of burnout. Like I said, burnout. Yes, that's all I got. We're going to put that, write that down there. And to stop by this bump in the road, as I like to call it, it's still not considered a mental illness. I think the DSM doesn't have burnout right there, but the symptoms of burnout are seen in it. But it is a mental health issue. And I think people forget that even though it's not an illness, it's not something that can be categorized and so to speak because of the different definitions of it. It is a mental health issue. And a lot of people go through it. And it's a state where we all get, there's this emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion because of not only prolonged and excessive stress, but it's the repeated stress that you go through. You become overwhelmed, you get emotionally drained, and these constraints and these demands start closing in on you, just like having cabin fever. The only difference is there's this exhaustion that takes place. And for those of you that have felt it, you know how it feels. It's that thing that you do every day. It's like almost when they say that, repetition. And if you're doing something over and over again and expecting the same result, that's madness. But some people do. Some people repeat and do the same thing over and over again because culturally, that's what they've been told to do, because of fear of things that they feel like they won't be able to do. And so they keep on doing it, not realizing that it's taking their soul. And I felt that. I felt that feeling of trying to do something and you feel your soul is not in it anymore. So the question you ask yourself, do you stay in or do you go? Because you know what? It kills you inside. So I would say go. But maybe if you armed yourself with tools that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, then maybe you won't have to then go through that. Maybe you'll be almost at the cusp, but then go back to the good side and the positive vibe side. So that's all from really what it is. There's something in the chat there. And now we'll talk about well-being. So like I said, one of the ways to kind of get through a challenge in life is not necessarily stop it, but rather deflect it and do something that's actually good. And so what we're doing is learning about what we can do to live well instead of dwelling on burnout. So Martin Seligman is the godfather of positive psychology. And if you already know, I am a positive psychology practitioner. And well-being is a construct, not necessarily happiness, which sometimes is the topic of positive psychology. Know that our goal in life, and this is something I've discovered, is not necessarily to be happy, but to live well. Because as you'll see in these next slides, living well composes of many different things. And one of them is the feeling of happiness, which happiness is fleeting. You can feel happy one day, you could be sad the other day. But it's about this overall situation that allows you to stay at a certain place and balanced is what we should all be achieving for. I'm going to try to make this sexy and have different ways to like transition on the slide. Let me know if you think that's cool. So are you permalicious? So there's 5 things that make up, in essence, our well-being. One, as you can see, and I'm going to drop this whiteboard function here because I've never kind of used it before. So first there's like positive emotions right here. Yeah, positive emotions right there. And then there's engagement or flow. You have relationships, particularly positive relationships, meaning in life, and accomplishments. All of that to say, which equals PERMA. So once again, positive emotions or happiness, engagement or flow, positive relationships, meaning in life, and accomplishments. Those are the things that make up, in a sense, well-being. They're like your little dials. Like if you were in a car and all these dials for gas, for oil, all these things, you want to keep them at a certain level in order for the car or the engine to work properly. Because if you don't, then things will kind of go down. But it doesn't mean that the car will stop just because the oil is down. You can just add more oil unless it's completely empty. So as we're talking about this, we talk about what positive emotions are. Positive emotions are the feeling of feeling good. And like I said, it's happiness. It's that, but it's only temporary. So you have to ask yourself almost as you judge yourself, from 1 to 10, how happy are you? And what takes for you to be happy? And you put that from 1 to 10. And then engagement or flow. What are the activities that you do that allow you to get into a state of flow? Do you remember those periods of times that you feel like you're like completely engaged? And then you said, wow, I completely lost track of time because guess what? My creativity was flowing, or I was like playing golf for the golfers out there. And you're like, your shot is just perfect. How is your shot perfect? And you haven't really practiced that much, but it's this state of flow that you're in. Relationships, especially positive relationships, and the authentic connection to different people, more than anything else, has been shown to be one of the greatest gifts for happiness and longevity. Meaning, M for meaning, is understanding what your purpose is in life. Whether you're religious or not religious, meaning allows you to know where you're coming from and having faith that things will be better. Lastly, A of the PERMA, achievement. That sense of accomplishment. And not just for you, selfishly, but yes, it's important, but because sometimes you do it for the greater good. You do it for your family. You do it for your community. For me, it's like everything I try to do, I hope to set a good example for the many Filipinos that are out there that were not lucky enough like me to get opportunities. So I use the luck I've been given as an opportunity to create impact in this world. And I would have no other way. I wouldn't have it no other way. So let's get physical. Let's start with what is the one physical tool you can use, or what can we talk about that's a physical tool to help you not get burnt out? And like I said, burnout is something we all feel, but let's not dwell on this. Let's dwell on some tools. So what's the physical thing? Remember that your body is a temple, and yeah, you get only one. So if you don't take care of that temple, guess what? It comes crashing down. So what is the one easy tool you can use in order to make sure you don't get like completely exhausted and burned out? Sleep. Many of us, and I'm sure many of you out there, how many of you out there feel like you need to hustle and not sleep, or grew up with this kind of culture where the less you sleep, the more productive you are, or that means you're working hard or you're doing more things? I mean, type it in the chat and let me know. If you grew up this way where you feel like the less sleep you get, the better you are. And a lot of it comes from, I think our parents who come from a different generation of those that tried to make it very differently with only the opportunities that you have. And that was the only way for them, in a sense, to hustle. But if you don't sleep, then your mind doesn't work. And science has proven that. More and more science has shown that if you don't sleep, productivity actually goes down. Your ability to focus goes down. Your ability to complete tasks go down. So why don't we cherish sleep more now? Knowing that sleep not only helps us with productivity, sleep in the athletic space is also one of the best ways to enhance performance of athletes. I know, shocker. And guess what? It's free 99. It's free. It's just about discipline, having the discipline for that. So if you are an athlete or you work with athletes, it's suggested through science that you sleep about 8-10 hours a day because your body needs to recover from the hard work that you do. Now, if you're a normal person like me that maybe works out, but I'm not like a full-on athlete, I don't think so. If you get 7 to 8 hours, that's good. That's good. 7 to 8 hours is good. So now the question I get asked most of the time is, what if you don't get the 7 to 8 hours? What if you sleep late because your job keeps you up and then you eat later and all that other stuff? Then try to get the sleep that you can. And then if you need to take naps, take those naps. A 1.5 hour nap can actually reset your cycle if you get that in a day. And number two, if you really need to take that power nap, take a 20 to 30 minute power nap and no more than that, because you don't want to get to a point where now you go into REM and then now you get groggy when you wake up, and it's a bit of a challenge. But let me give you another gift here. If you want a super nap, and this is called the coffee nap, take a shot of espresso or drink a nice cup of coffee that's strong. For the Filipinos out there, cafe barako or espresso. Or cortadito, and then go to bed. And when you do that, I promise you, when you wake up after 20 minutes, and make sure you set your alarm for 20, 30 minutes, and don't go beyond that. You wake up, you're going to be supercharged. And this is one of those crazy things that you start learning when you start diving into the sleep science of stuff. And now next question I get asked is like, when is the best time to sleep? The best window to be asleep is between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, this is when your body produces the human growth hormone the most. This is a natural hormone in your body that helps you heal, that helps you recover, that helps you regenerate. So if you do not get into that window, that you don't get the benefits of HGH, because now it starts draining and not producing itself anymore after 2 o'clock, because this is where the cycle of your body goes through, the human sleeping cycle. So one tool I like to share with people that I talk about and I do myself is that I like to set sleeping alarms. Or my friend Nicole Ponseca, what would do is she would write it in her hand, go home by 9:30. She would write it. So if she's out, she's working, she looks at that, she goes, go home by 9:30. She can fall asleep by 10 because it is good for you. So make sure you set yourself some reminders. Set an alarm on your watch to say, okay, because at 9:30, you're going to need some downtime to create a ritual to get downtime, to get off the devices, and then slowly get to sleep. Speaking of devices, it's suggested through science that you need to make sure that you're off your devices within 1 hour of the time of when you go to bed or go to sleep. So when you're in bed, put the devices aside. Do not put a TV in your room. If you have a TV in your room, I don't know if some of you are guilty, take it out of your room. That's also a feng shui thing. Second, if you're going to eat or drink, especially when it comes to alcohol, make sure that that you stop drinking beverages 2 hours before you go to bed, and you stop eating 2 hours before the bed, so that then it allows your body to then actually digest it before you go to bed. Because have you ever noticed, and particularly those who were young once, and you're going out and you're partying and enjoying life, and you go get that late night meal, which is great for spirit. I'm guilty of it. But physiologically, it's not the best thing to do. And don't you notice that sometimes if you do eat that late night snack, especially after like an evening of fun, your dreams are not really that good. You're a bit challenged when you first wake up. And then you get this weird feeling when you first wake up in the morning, because your body is trying to like rest the rest of the body, but then now it has to digest what's going on in your stomach. So instead of like healing your brain, because when you're sleeping, particularly when you get that period of time between 10 to 2, that's when your brain's going to car wash mode. It's when it's cleaning all the dirt out. It's when it's like fixing things and like, okay, it's like cleaning. And then you're ready for the next day. So when you first wake up in the morning next day, you're like, I'm clear, and you'll be able to get more clarity. And the challenge more often than not is those who get burnt out is that they don't sleep. And they think that they need to work more, and they burn both ends of the candle. And by doing that, the less sleep you have, and it's not even like 1 night of sleep, it's the continuous amount of sleep per day that then clumps together, that then affects you, and then in turn gives you burnout. So make sure to value sleep more now more than ever. See if anyone's got any questions about that. Yes, Danielle Rumi says a nappuccino. Yes, get the nappuccino, but then go to bed right after that. Yes. And yes, she is a neuropsychologist, so she knows all about this. Sleep is when your brain removes its waste. So make sure you sleep, because yes, it does matter. And tell your kids to watch this right now. Make sure they sleep. All right. If you have any questions about that, put that up on the chat. We're moving on to the next. Mental health. Know that mental health is as important as physical health. And a lot of people have forgotten that for many years. But now, with the advent of neuroscience and the understanding of neuroplasticity, and also a lot of the studies in the world of positive psychology and stuff, and neuropsychology, it's been shown that the mental health is as important, or if not even more important, than physical health. I would like to say just balance. It is well-being. We're all little things. You just have to balance everything up. So what is one tool that you can use in order to improve your mental health, in order not to burn out? Mindfulness. If you are just watching me right now for the first time and not realizing that I am a mindfulness guy, welcome. For those of you who know about what I've been doing in the mindfulness space for a long time, you know that how important it is for me, not just from a mental side of things, but also an emotional side of things as well. But we'll put this in the category of mental. So one tool you can do, especially if you feel like burnout's about to come, is to be more self-aware. And how do you do that? Practice of mindfulness allows you to step back. And whether you're sitting in a space and just noticing things and allowing yourself to step back and pause, or whether it's walking outside and like looking around and noticing everything around you, to really kind of like enjoy things, that is also mindfulness. The mindfulness that again in turn becomes savoring, because you look at the positive things that are around you and then just truly enjoy it fully. So mindfulness will then can will turn to savoring if you want it to. So what's one of the exercises that you can do for that? One of the exercises you can do is literally just sit down and use all 5 senses as you sit down. So bear with me as I go through this exercise and show you what this is. It literally is me sitting down here, and let's say I want to practice my sense of sight. It's me getting grounded and taking a deep breath and then looking around. What do I see? Let's say 3 things. I see my orange water bottle. I see my orange speaker. And I see my meditation bowl from India. And as simple as that. And if you want to kind of give some accountability to that, put a worksheet together. Write the things that you see and you notice. And then ask yourself how long you stayed and noticed that. And you can write that down, and then you use times. And then practicing that mindfulness allows you to stay in one place and say, okay, maybe a breath, maybe 2. Okay, I have 2 breaths. I'm going to write this down. This is what the intent is. And how was that feeling I had initially of anxiety or stress or burden or this feeling of like excessiveness? Where am I still feeling it after this exercise. Out of 1 to 10, like after doing this, I'm from, let's say I was a 10 before this, now I'm like an 8. Okay, cool. And that's a win, and celebrate that win. You don't have to go from 10 to then 0 and say, look, guess what? I'm mindful now. Now I can I'm good. Nah, celebrate each wins. If you get a 9 from what you were a 10 and you were at the cusp, that's great. That's a good job. That's a good job. Absolutely. Yes. So make sure you write it down so then you're aware of the changes and the progress that you're making. Because if you don't, then you don't know if you're doing it correctly. And it's simple. All you got to notice. If you want to then use the sense of feeling, for example, what do I feel sitting here? If I close my eyes and just feel, what are the 2 things that I feel here? I ground myself. I feel the fan as it blow some nice cool air to me. Yet I also feel the sticky sweatiness of my legs against my chair. And it's a feeling. But you know what? I'm noticing it. And sometimes all you got to do is notice. And if you notice, that is mindfulness. And know that mindfulness and meditation are different. And I explained this in my live the other day, is that meditation is the absence of what you're noticing, while that's meditation, while mindfulness is the noticing of everything. And that's simple as that. To get into meditation, you're letting go, you're surrendering, so that then things just clear and you're just not even doing anything. If it comes, it's fine, let it pass. And for mindfulness, it's like noticing it. Okay, I got that. Okay, got that. But then taking a breath or following your breath to get there. So, was that helpful? Yep, I hope that was helpful for you all. That's a good little tool. Next. Emotional health. So when we think about mental health, we think of what we're thinking about. But really, you have to also ask yourself, how do you feel? How do you feel at this exact moment in time? And instead of letting your brain lead the way, let your heart lead the way. Because it's true. What you feel there, the amount of nerves that are in your heart, that surround your heart, are almost, but if not more than even your brain. There is this amazing brain-body connection that's a dynamic, that's ongoing, that talk to each other. And sometimes that's why, your heart hurts sometimes. Your brain hurts sometimes, but yes, your heart does sometimes, because there's this feeling that you actually get. So as you consider your emotional health and how you feel, especially when you're going through a burnout, it's this feeling, you have these emotions that are feeling like you can't overcome or get ahead because of this of this caving in situation as well. What's a tool that you can use in order to control that emotional health? It's simple. Gratitude. And as you know, I am the gratitude dude. And for me, what's helped me control my emotional well-being and also the challenges that I faced is being grateful. I wake up in the morning and then I give thanks for something already, particularly because I'm alive and I'm breathing. And by just simply doing that, life is already grand. And my emotions are already at a high to begin with. And my P, my positive emotion, which is happiness, is already at the 10 before I start even stepping out of bed. Because why? Because I start with gratitude. I begin and I end my days with gratitude. And just like that, I'm thriving no matter what. So one exercise that I'd like to show you guys, that I like to do almost as a reminder, is a simple exercise of have and have nots. So what I want you guys to do right now, if I may, is I want you guys to think about, and yes, Fiona, a gratitude journal is amazing. I got one of those as well. And just simply saying 3 things when you first wake up in the morning. But here's an actual exercise that allows you to realize it. 1, think about what you have. What's the one thing that you have, like a trait, a strength, a gift, a skill, something that you're gifted with that everyone says, hey, you know what? You're a good guitar player. You're a great listener. Oh my God, you run fast. Or how can you just play musical instruments with no problem just by listening or knowing the notes right away? So think about that gift. Think about that gift, that skill. And think about it for 1 second. Close your eyes and think, okay, I have this. This is what I'm known for. Then open your eyes. And now think about and feel what it'd be like if it was taken away from you. Suddenly that gift you have of being a good guitar player, that gift you have of being fast, of being strong, of being smart, is suddenly taken away from you. How would you feel about that? And if in one fleeting moment it stops you and it makes you feel bad, then be grateful for it. Because guess what? That's what makes you special, that gift. So you never want that to be taken away. So be grateful that you have that. That's what makes each one of us unique, having each side a kind of gift that's special, that's different. That's what makes us who we are. So be grateful for that. And write that down. Because sometimes, and what the saying goes, sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. And we don't notice it because we just notice everything that's big that's around us. We don't notice the little things that we have in front of us. And by being grateful for that, it allows us to then live life more freely and have less opportunity to be burnt out. Cool. What are our thoughts on that? Yep. And yes, Crystal, it makes perfect sense. Definitely makes perfect sense. And please write down and share, if you wish to, what you're grateful for right now. Who are you grateful for, in a sense? And also, put down on the notes, what is that one skill that you're grateful for? And I love. Aline would say, being such a great researcher and loving reading and studying. Hey, look what, that's a gift. And maybe a gift I don't have, but she has it. Aline, all the way from Kenya, much love for being out here. All right, moving on. So we've got social health, and we got 2 more, and we're about the Q&As and stuff. So 2 more to go. So social health, as the saying goes, we are the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. So one of the most important things in order for us to have social health is community, a sense of belonging, a feeling that we have a role and a purpose and a place. It's this surrounding us that where we come into, where we feel like, then you know what, I've arrived because you got people that like have my back. Having community is having a support system. And as I mentioned earlier, as it relates to relationships, which is part of the PERMA, if you have great relationships, then you have a better ability to live longer and be happier for a longer period of time. Burnout's not going to exist if you have particularly great relationships. As a grand study that Harvard did, which followed a group of students for 75 years, found out that the number one factor for happiness in people's lives, and then in turn longevity, or the ability to live life longer, was the strength of their social connections. So imagine that. It's not necessarily the red wine, which is cool, eating the fish, which is cool, eating a good diet, walking, exercise. But imagine the power of social connections, the power of community. This is why in some places, like the blue zones that are out in places like Nosara in Costa Rica, Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia in Italy, all of these places, Loma Linda in California, and Kairos in Greece, these are places that have centenarians, the most number of people that live more than 100 years old in the world. And for them, it's playing a role with the people that they're with that makes them live the longest. And that's why you see sometimes when somebody dies in one of those groups, then there's a chain reaction, people that start dying. Why? Because they feel like they're part of something. There's even a practice in Okinawa, having a moai, or having a group that put you together from the age of like when you're little boys and girls. And those 5 people will be your core crew all the way till you get older. And having this sense of having this crew allows you to really not only live a normal life and makes you thrive. And then in turn, you'll have that support when you feel like you're down or you're challenged. So this is such a beautiful thing, the importance of community. So make sure that you have community and value community, because this is one of the greatest tools for well-being and to stop from burning out. And yes, the royal family is in the house. And they are amazing community. And last but not the least, on this side of things, spiritual health. What are the things that make your soul come alive? Because when your soul is alive, then you have less chances for you to have repetitive stress that then forces you to get burned out. When you do something wholeheartedly and your spirit and your soul comes free, then it changes your life completely. So what's the one tool that you can do, or maybe act that you can do, in order to enhance your spiritual health and prevent from burnout from happening? Service. A lot of the studies that have shown that service, and particularly volunteering, has shown a decreased rate of depression, has increased people's happiness, has shown to increase people's self-confidence, and then in turn, increase overall physical health. So not only is service, particularly volunteering, good for your soul and your spirit, but ironically, it's also good for your physical health, because now you're with other people and you're like lifting stuff and doing things and doing work. It's great for your emotional health because you feel like, you feel good and uplifted. It's great for your social health because you're around people and you feel like you have a role to play and a purpose and a meaning in life. And good for your mental health because you're not thinking about the challenges that you have, but rather the good things you're doing in your life. And it makes you grateful more than anything else. So these are the tools that you can do. So volunteering is great. So I know it's challenging at this time, particularly to volunteer, but guess what? You can still do it. You can find ways to volunteer and giving your time to people, whether that's mentoring somebody, whether it's like going off and maybe working at like a center to kind of help people, or even going around and kind of finding a way to volunteer anything, your wisdom, your knowledge, your skill, and gift that to somebody else. Or if you feel like somebody's down and you want to support a friend that's going through something, and it's just going there and being of service and not asking for anything in return, but rather just being there. Sometimes you don't even have to like do anything. You just have to be there. And this is an amazing way to kind of make sure to enhance your spiritual health. So as we went through, here's a quick little summary. For physical health, sleep. For mental health, mindfulness. For emotional health, gratitude. For social health, community. And for spiritual health, service. That's 5 right there. That's 5. What do you got in the chat here? Oh, so yeah. If you have any questions in the chat, start putting it up. So in the study, the positive psychology study that was done, basically this big study that used the Gallup poll, they showed that when they did a study of the happiest people in the world revisited, the study showed, they studied more than 100 countries around the world, is that weirdly enough, only 27% of people in the world are actually living their best life, that are actually like happy. 68% of people are saying they're just okay. And can you believe 5% of people in the world So they're really not happy, and life is challenging. So ask yourself this: where do you want to be? Do you want to be on the 27% side, the 68% side, the 5% side? Why wouldn't all of us want to be in the 27% side? And even better yet, why wouldn't we all want to be the 5% within that 27%? And that all takes a conscious effort to ensure that all parts of our PERMA, which is, our emotions, positive emotions, our engagement or flow, our relationships, our meaning in life, and our acknowledgments and accomplishments all come up so they're all balanced. And that way, it helps us to be thriving on a regular basis and have less likelihood of burning out. So here's some of the ways to kind of look at, if you guys want to check out the PERMA test, so then you can check it out yourself. You can go Google PERMA or the VIA survey, free survey. You can take it yourself, and then you can print it out so you can know where you are. If you want to learn more about heart rate variability and the ability of our heart to feel and the amount of nerves that's in your heart, check out Heart Math. And this is for all the geeks that are out there, especially if that's what you want to do. And then ask yourself every morning when you wake up, how am I really? I know it's an easy but yet tough question to ask. How am I really? And what I do every morning when I first wake up, and even before I start stretching, I start moving around, is I put my hand to my heart, put my other hand to the other hand on my heart as well. Take a deep breath, and I say, how am I really? I check in, and I say, I'm great, because you know what? I'm breathing. I'm alive. All right, let's get this party started. So make sure you give yourself time to check in. Flourish. How would you like to flourish? How would you like to be like me and living this crazy life? And I got a question from Don Tagala over here asking, how did I get to all of this, being in well-being and all that other stuff? You know what? It's a multiple different things. When I was a child, I was so fascinated about ancient history and warrior mentality from Shaolin monks and Kung Fu monks that would jump up into the trees. With one jump, I loved the Bushido code for the samurai, and I also and then reading things from even the Filipino text and some of the warriors there, and a lot of them, the knights, and I love knights and all this something about having a code. But then if you don't, the one thing that I've learned and throughout the years from ancient history and ancient wisdom, the Bhagavad Gita and everything like that, and then add to that my curiosity in science and travel and adventure and otherworldly natural beings, and gifts and talents, that secret that we all have energetically. And then think about what I learned in school and medicine and Western medicine. And then I always compared it to Eastern medicine because growing up in Asia. And then after that, going to personal growth and spending time with people who use these same texts, but then made it more understandable and digestible for everyone else to remember. I was 13, 14 when I got introduced to the Silva method. That changed my life. I was bending spoons. I was, I learned how to really visualize and meditate in this way and kind of mind map and everything. And I got first introduced to meditation when I was 12. And all of these things is about recognition as we go into our journey of what that journey is like and the lessons we learn from each phase of our journey. And as you reflect, you'll realize what makes you feel good, what makes you doesn't feel good. And it's through this journey that allows me to come up with ways to make sure that I don't get to the other side, that I don't get burnt out. And I reach out to people who need help sometimes, but sometimes people think they can solve problems themselves, and then not until it's too late the challenges happen. So the reason why I say this, and this is important, because then if you'd like to know what I do and how the things I do this, then this is the perfect time. You know, ask yourself right now, would you like to learn more tools, more tips, more techniques to increase, my well-being? So guess what? This week is a launch week. And launch week is the launch of my first ever online course called Well-Being Tools for Transitional Times. And right now we all live in a crazy, crazy time. We're all uncertain. We don't know what's happening with our lives and what's even going to happen in the future. But all we can do is prepare so we can prevent from challenges like burnout, like cabin fever, like anxiety, like depression, all that stuff to come to us. If you want to learn more about the tools that I personally do, guess what? It's all in this course. 30 years worth of like mind, body, soul, spirit, everything else that I've read, that I felt, that I experienced, that I've traveled to, is all in this course. And really, it's a pretty easy course. 22 short videos, there's transcripts, and an exclusive Facebook group called the Well-Being Warrior Tribe. If you want to be a well-being warrior, join me in this course, or share it to those you think would benefit from it. And it's only on sale now. My cart closes really in a few days. So best to check it out when you get the chance to. Ask yourself this: what would it cost you to find clarity? What would it cost you to be grounded, to be focused, to improve relationships, to have increased productivity, to wake up with zest and feeling amazing? In a sense, what are you willing to spend to be happy? Ask yourself that right now. What are you willing to spend for you to be happy? Some people use some of these frequent bestsellers. They go to a spa, one-day spa. That's pretty fancy because that's the way to do it, because they feel good afterward, which is great for a temporary period of time. When you get to the point that you can't take care of yourself anymore, you don't ask for support, or the moment you ask for support, then you go into a doctor visit, and guess what? The bill comes back, and it's not always that pretty. Or you go to a gym membership, which you pay every month, but now that we are in quarantines and gyms are continuing to be closed, can you still go to a gym to feel good, to feel well? Or for some of us who have the cash to drop $2,200 to get a Peloton, all good. But guess what? For $197, you can get well-being tools for transitional times for a lifetime. And you can watch it over and over again, and you can share it with your family and everyone in your family to do that as well. So, you know what? I think it's worth it. So, but that's just me. Think about what $197, and for some people, that's, think about the number of cups of coffee that you buy for that. I know that's an analogy that everyone uses, but I like to use the fact that, obviously with what the current prices are, what people are using for Peloton or online courses or all these like fitness courses that sometimes are anywhere from $10 to $40. I can't believe there's like some, courses you can take, fitness classes you can take online that charge $40. But imagine if you had, and then that's only for that one moment in time. So imagine if you had access to something that you can watch over and over and over again, and the lessons you learned there, you'll be able to share with everybody, and only for $197. Why not, right? So that's the end of my spiel, and I thank you for indulging me in that. So talk to me. What kind of questions do you guys got for me? What kind of questions do you guys got? So we're on the chat. We're ready to roll this. If there's any questions, if there's no questions, we're going to slowly, we're just over the 1 hour mark, and I'm mindful of your time. And I'm very thankful for all of you for taking the time to indulge me and listen to what I have to say. So if there is no questions particularly about that, I'm going to send you guys and let you guys know. For those who are just coming in here, I know you found me at one of these places. This, either Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or you can cache the website. If you're not on the website yet, make sure, and I will use this little whiteboard thing, the transparently slider. Make sure you go to the website, erwinvalencia.com, and sign and drop your email on the newsletters for a newsletter and update. Drop your email on the bottom of the website so that you can get all the news and updates and all the fun, crazy things that I'm doing. The newsletters I've been doing lately have always been fun. I think discovering the power of GIFs more than anything else have been like amazing. So there's always going to be fun when it comes to my newsletters. Obviously, it's launch week this week, so you're going to get a barrage of newsletters, which are always good and always fun as well. But make sure you drop your email on my website, and then we'll go over there. So I'm going to check one more time to see if there's any questions. There's mark as chat. Yep. No questions. All right, cool. Mark as chat. Okay, cool. Well, I thank you all for being here, for those who have come in and out, and for those particularly who stayed all the way in the end. Know that your dedication to me and my craft has not been lost. And I'm truly honored and grateful for all of you guys for being here. You know where to find me. Find me at, more than anything else, the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. And if you have any questions, concerns, hit me up. On that note, I will call this an evening. Once again, much gratitude for all of you for being here, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Replay will come your way if you need to send it to other people as well. So have a good night. Take care. Sending love to the Royals, sending love to my cousin, the Daybreaker fam, Chelsea in the house, my dearest Tiffany in the house. Thank you. CJ, the DJ, all the way from Arizona. I'm going to hit you up here in a couple of minutes, brother. Representing Grasshopper Project, all the communities. Ariana Middleman, yep, thank you. And if anybody has any more questions, hit me up on DM on Instagram, or write me an email at erwin@erwinvalencia.com. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Like I said, be safe, be healthy, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.